needs, we all need, gotta live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Alright, isn't it time, brother, stop dying? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. With one earth, with one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace in peace, and peace. Around the world we're all alike. So why is it war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. With one earth, we all gotta live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Alright, isn't it time, brother, stop dying? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. With one earth, with one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace in peace, in peace. Alright, peace, peace, together. Peace.
Thank you guys for joining me on Shadow Chasing Show, and I'm your host, Derrick Whiteskycloud. Thank you guys. I'm actually a little late tonight. Always late because I'm always catching up to more. Well, people give me calls and they're chatting with me and let me know what's going on in different places, and had some important business I had to take care of first, which is all to do with my own work, personal work. Anyways, I'm here, and we got a few things to talk about for sure. We all do every week, right? All the things that are going on. If you guys noticed, there has been a lot of, I guess you'd say, a lot of, how do you say this part? Okay, let's go this over here. There you go. There has been a lot of floods across the world, snow across the world. BC got hit. We got hit a couple of days ago. We got a foot of snow, folks. 1 foot in one night. 1 foot of snow in one night. When they kept on saying I dream of a white Christmas, well, it happened a little late. Because well, maybe it could be because it's for no after Ukrainian Christmas is actually on the 7th of January, and that didn't happen either. So, anyways, yeah, we got snow, and it once in a while it hits you like you get snow, right? But I have never seen so many people in BC that do not know how to drive, and they still got their summer tires on, or their what do you call their multi-seasonal tires, which don't work, by the way. You got to have winter tires, especially if you're driving on ice, because our snow, like when it gets really cold below zero, it turns into ice or black ice, and then we have snow that falls on top of that, so you're coating ice. And I'll give you an example. About 5 years ago, my wife, or 6 years ago, my wife had a accident walking our dog. She was walking on the snow, which she thought she was, and she wiped out and fell and broke her arm, and found and realized after there was ice below the snow. So when you're living here in BC or any other place that actually relates to a lot of dampness in the area, especially if you've got a lot of oceans or lakes close by, you're going to get a lot of moisture, more extra moisture than you actually will in a dry land area, which is like Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, those areas, because they're in the flat plains area. Sure, you're near the foothills, but you're not directly in the mountains, so you got a lot. You're not getting as much moisture when you're in that area. Just like Texas, Texas does have a bit of an ocean off the side, but not really deep inside. So it like some places, like you guys know where your rivers and your oceans are. You'll notice that the roads are different. People in Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, dryland area we can like I'm originally from the plains area of the land, so to speak. I know how to drive on snow, but yet people out there do not know how to drive on snow. So and so anyways, that's how it works. We got accidents galore. Tesla's breaking down. I'm actually saying that word. Teslas are breaking down. People are saying all the toys are frozen, sitting on the side of the highway. Electric toys, your little toys that you guys spend thousands of dollars on, and especially with a battery that's worth $60,000, it's no use to you, and it's sitting there on the side of the road because there's no charging stations. And then the government has the audacity. I mean, I'm going to say this, folks, and I'm sure you guys understand this. Why would our federal government ask us to cut back or not to use any of our electricity, as much electricity in our house, especially in the winter? Okay. Lesser lights on, and they want us to unplug everything if they could, to save the power energy in the city or their generators. It has nothing to do asking us to cut back on power. They're doing it for two reasons. One, so they can really make you believe that you need a Tesla. Okay. Two, so they can make you believe that you don't need fossil fuels or a fuel, gasoline, propane, butane, propane. They're trying to take all natural gas. I want to take all that away from you so you can actually go just electric. Again, that's mind control, straight electric, right? And yet, when those power stations go down, what do you have? Cold weather. You'll suffer. You will not go anywhere. You'll be freezing your freaking rear end off. Guaranteed you will. Why do you think this weather was made for you in this time of year? Why was this weather made for you when we had snow all of a sudden everywhere? Everywhere. How come that snow suddenly just showed up? Think about it, folks. It's not a natural snow, because people have said that they are trying to get the snow off their windshield or off their car. And as they're moving the snow off, it looks like a rainbow under the snow, but it looks like there's actually oil in the snow. You know how oil film looks like? That's exactly when they take the snow off the windshield, it looks like an oil film. So people have been trying to burn to see what happens. So they take a flame or a fire and they burn the snow. And normally it should be dripping. It should melt in your hand. But it doesn't, it turns black. And everyone has done tests, including people who've actually from the research stations. Okay, a research station, and they took the snow in or snowballs in, and they would light them up in under the torches, butanes, and they turn black. Now, why would they do that? Why would they turn black? Why would your snow turn black? Because it's not real snow. Think about it. Real snow would melt. People used to melt snow to make their own water. So then they can act, especially in Alaska, okay, they'll take snow to make their own water so they can drink it. But yet, why are people saying when they taste the snow now, when it comes down, it tastes like an oily film and it doesn't taste like snow? So, what are they putting into our clouds, or who is putting the stuff in our clouds? And it's tasting wrong. Doesn't taste like snow. It doesn't taste like a natural rainfall. You're not getting a natural rainfall. You're getting whatever it is, and it's not good. So if you look at some of your videos, there are people putting in videos out there showing you the oily film coming off the snow. This is snow coming down on your vehicle. And then when they take the snow off the vehicle, it shows an oily film on the windshield and or car. When you get sunlight, I mean, sure, it should look like water. When water, when you wash something off, sure, you have a bit of a rainbow feature, you know what I mean? Like that should be that rainbow prism look if the sunlight is hitting it, but there's no sunlight. It's showing you from regular light an oily film off the snow. So what does that tell you? Makes you think, doesn't it? Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. I just realized something, guys. If you look at my phone, my cell phone here, and that's my camera there on my feature. I'm not sure you can't see it on my regular phone, but on my phone, it's behind it. You'll see a reflection from my screen on my computer screen. There's 3 aliens in my camera. See no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil. It's a reflection. It's on there, guys. I'm not kidding you. That looks pretty cool. I'm gonna have to take a quick picture here. There's no way you can beat that. That's a cool thing. I just noticed it. See if I can get that up there. Hang on. I got to catch that. Something we don't get too often. That's funny. It's in my own phone yet. The crazy things we do, and I just realized, I just saw that. My wife says, you can see things, small things, and then she doesn't see it, but I do. Certain things catches my eyes, and that's kind of cool. Like a reflection on my phone, and you can see it. Those are actually in the chat room, and the YouTube chat room can see it, right? And but those who don't, that's fine. Well, you'll get to see it after. But anyways, like I said before, they've been talking about a lot of, and every other parts of the world has been having floods everywhere, major floods. There has been mudslides. There has been torrential rains. I mean, look at Japan. Japan just had a second tsunami, right? It had its first tsunami back in 2011. Now it had another tsunami just another month ago. I mean, guys, it's getting crazy. they already lost about 1.25 million people. Their lives have been lost in the first tsunami. Now there's probably more lives lost in the second tsunami. This is Japan, right? And then we got China. China has its floods. India's got its floods. Other parts of the countries, and the European countries having their floods. It's all over. And Nikki in the chat room says that 6.3 Tonga region. Okay, I think it sounds like an earthquake. We're having earthquakes and earth tremors. I mean, it's all over. And I'll tell you why, folks. These aren't, I mean, this is not what you call a carbon problem. That's not carbon. Okay. This is not called climate change. This is climate changing. Okay. Take the word E off, that letter E off, ing. It's climate changing. It's changing because it's supposed to change. Okay. We are having a cleansing. That's why they kept on saying to all of us that they have to clean the swamp. Okay. And they're cleaning the swamp. This is why President Trump kept on saying they're cleaning the swamp, cleaning it up. Well, it's true. They're cleaning up the swamp and they're doing the damn good job of it. They've announced a few people that have been nabbed. Okay. Have been taken away, taken to Gitmo. One-way trip, free jewelry. Just call in now. That's what they're doing. Call in now, free jewelry, one-way ticket. You don't go home. Gitmo's pretty busy right now as we speak. It's going to be busier. Yeah. Want to play 52 pickup? That's what they're doing right now. They're playing 52 pickup. And at the same time, they're rescuing the kids, more children around the world. There's still more being rescued. It's getting to be crazy. Now, someone's actually been sending me. They sent me something. They sent something to me regarding the quickening. They're calling it the quickening. Well, if you guys remember Art Bell, when he did Coast to Coast AM, he actually wrote the book called The Quickening. And he made predictions from that book himself back in 1996, 97. And he wrote that when he wrote the book called The Quickening. If you ever want to know about, if anybody actually has that book, what Art Bell had written, look it up again. The Quickening. Okay. So the thing is that we're all going through changes and shifts right now. We're also going through transitions. And I'm talking to everybody regarding the 3D, from 3D to 5D. And no, I'm not interested in that. Go away. Boy, I'm telling you one thing. Google gets their nose into my stuff when they hear what I'm doing, and then they're saying, "We don't like what you're doing here." I have been getting so many messages now from Google and Google Mail, telling me, threatening me, and telling me that they have copyright laws, and telling me that I cannot say certain things. Copyright laws. I have to give them the United States code number of the military code number of what the laws they're breaking, for them to no longer bother me, to leave me alone. Because and others should need to do the same thing, because they're playing a threatening game. They're just finishing off what they could do, see if they can get away with it, and see if they can scare you. They've already threatened to take about 2 or 3 of my pages out. Other pages I have on Facebook tell me that I've actually, and they're also saying that there's they're getting complaints that I'm actually a what do you say? What was that word they were using? Bully. I'm a bully. I pick on people. I'm not a bully. I don't know where they're coming from. I would never pick on anybody. Not somebody I love or somebody I like. The only thing that I don't care for is some of the politics that actually is doing damage to people out there. But again, that's what they do, right? So yeah, Facebook is doing its little job right now. They're trying to play some threats, and they'll send you little code numbers and telling you can't say this and can't do that, copyright this and copyright that. And I just send them a little bit of message, and I'll say, I'm on the list that you're being sued, and we're going after you under the military jurisdiction. And you guys back off, or you're going to be in deeper trouble. So they leave me alone, and they'll have to do the same thing for you guys too. So yeah, they're using these numbers, but they're saying they're from Facebook, and we don't know who they are. But again, it's just started, I would say, the last couple of weeks. They haven't done this before. This is the first time, and they started doing this. Again, like I tell people, this is leftover shit, and I will use that word, leftover shit. That's all the guy left that they can hang on to put a scare in you. Like, oh my God, they're gonna go to jail. No, you're not. Oh, copyright law, I can sue you. No, you can't. There's no what copyright law you got? Oh, we own your photographs, so you can't choose your own photos. Screw you, I can't. I know who I am. You can't steal my stuff. And the word copyright, that's two separate words. So a lot of you guys out there are dealing with a lot of cold weathers and frosties and even power outages in other parts of the world. Our neighborhoods are getting a lot of power outages. I had it last week. Not for very long, but we had blackouts. And I think what it is really is a practice run to see if we can be able to handle it. That's what they're doing right now. They're practice runs on people to see if necessary, if we can handle it, be able to be self-sufficient and not worry about it. So this gives us a bit of a heads up what's going on. But again, like I said before in this show, I would, if I were you, stop worrying about and try not to listen to their crap and telling you got to unplug everything and no, we don't use any electricity. It's a game. It's a ploy. It's mind control again. If they can't snake bite you, they're going to actually use electricity. And they're going to tell you to cut back on it because, oh, well, we're running out of power because we can't use the Teslas. You folks are the dumbasses that buy them. Go back to your fossil fuel or your fuel, whatever you call it. It's not even fossil fuel. But go back to using your regular cars because your regular cars are not going to harm anything anyways. And let me tell you something. If it wasn't for the semi-trucks to deliver food, and they're using real gas, and if it wasn't for the airplanes to fly in some of your goods, and they're using real gas, you wouldn't have those electric cars. And you're telling everybody that that they cut back the electricity first so you can actually what? Doesn't make any sense. There's no sense whatsoever. These Teslas cannot last anything degrees. So here, for example, okay. Catherine in the chat room. Thank you guys for being part of the chat room. Those are in the YouTube chat room as well as Facebook. Catherine says all of here is up in northern BC. She goes, it's minus 50, minus 55. We're all finally up to minus 20. Means they're getting a little bit warmer. Asking if I could see your comments. Yes, I can. Okay. There's a whole lot of that has been happened that don't even know yet. Yeah. So guys, if you want, yeah, just share, just put your comments in the chat rooms. I get to see, I watch them back and forth. Yeah, Lila says they don't like me when we pick on PEDOs. Yeah, I know what you mean. But again, we've got Our politicians right now, before I forget this one too, our politicians right now are trying to get a law passed, which they'd never be able to, or at least they're trying to play a game of I got power and you don't. Remember, I told you about one of the journalists was actually immediately arrested by a fake RCMP, refused to show his badge, refused to show his numbers, and he immediately arrested a journalist who actually wanted to interview Krista Freeland, who actually he was not in her way. He had the microphone not too far from her and just asked her questions. The officer, what he did is just grabbed him and boom, you're against the wall, and up next thing you know, you're under arrest. For what? You're under arrest for assault. Well, who do I assault? You assaulted me, he says. It has nothing to do with you. He's actually interviewing her. He says, you're in my way and I didn't hit you. You shoulder butted me. And we watched it on film, right? So let me say this to you folks. I'm going to bring this up. We've got good police officers out there that really do care. And then we have corrupt police officers that don't give a rat's butt. And the officers, or whatever they call themselves, if they call themselves RCMP, they're corrupt. And they're playing the game by having to play headgear, bully, and trample you over until you have no rights and they can do whatever they want. Now, I've had RCMP tell me, old school boys, used to tell me that when I used to say that, well, what is the law? And they'll say, there really is not really a law. And he says that we are the law. He said, we make up our own rules. And this will give you a ticket or they arrest you because they feel like it. So some of these officers are really horrible, whether they're not just RCMP. I've seen city cops do the same thing. You got your honest cops and you got your bad ones. And the ones that are working for Freeland are bad cops. They're corrupt. And they're being watched. They have to make mistakes so they can be taken away later. Let them make that mistake. Because they're not going to be going to jail, regular jail. They're going bye-bye, and they're not coming out. Because they know they're corrupt. They know they think they're going to get away with it, and they're not. No way in heaven are they going to get away with it. Ain't going to happen. So I'm because I'll tell you why, because we have some really great officers here, police officers in Surrey, where I live, and we've had some really good most of the RCMP officers in Surrey here are really great guys. They try so hard. There's one that I actually have worked with to help find missing people cases, and he really cares about this community. I mean, there's really good people out there. A lot of these young guys that joined the force, their purpose one to join because they care. I mean, if there's some old boys schools that don't give a rat's about us and they'll say, well, we're nothing but underlings under them. Well, guess what? You boys are gone. Okay. You're going to change your attitude because you forgot who you really are, because you're supposed to be working for us, not you working for the corporation. But if you want to work for the corporation, go right ahead, because you'll be gone bye-bye anyways. And I'll tell you why, because we're going through transition right now in Surrey, and we're having that argument between, we're trying to keep the RCMP in Surrey. We don't want the SPS, the new group called the Surrey Police Force. The new mayor we have here does not want them here because they are the leftovers of the corrupt RCMP that lost their jobs, and they got rehired by the last mayor, McCallum, and he wanted these corrupt groups to work for him because he can tell them what to do, like Boss Hogg, the Dukes of Hazzard. Do whatever he wants. That was his attitude. I'm surprised he was not wearing a white suit and a white hat and cigar and driving down a big caddy with steer horns in the front of his hood. He's pretty well that guy. This is who he thinks he is. He thinks he's the Boss Hogg. But when they got rid of McCallum really quickly, that was the best thing they ever did. But yet, McCallum's got 3 of his little cronies still in council in the city of Surrey, working under or with as council members with our new mayor, Brenda Locke. I will announce her name because she's a hard-working person. She really wants to be the really hard-working mayor to help her community. But she believes in the RCMP because they did a lot for her. But yet there's people out there who get their mind twisted and paid off, including the newspapers. They get paid off to lie to the public. And I know that because I caught them in a lie 3 times. And yet the RCMP have been watching the SPS officers. Let's put it this way. You do not, I mean, if anybody who's RCMP, it's called Royal Canadian Mounted Police. That means they are federal police officers, not provincial police officers. They're federal. Why are Surrey Police Services driving RCMP cars? They're provincial, not federal. You don't have the right to drive a federal car. That's federally funded by me, the taxpayer. I didn't pay the RCMP or pay the government to get the RCMP or to have the SPS work for us. I did not. I reject that. I don't care. You guys have an opinion whether you like them or not, but there have been 3 SPS officers that have already got arrested. They've already actually got busted for corruption already before they got started. They're ex-RCMP. They became SPS officers, and they got busted because the RCMP investigated them and caught 3 of them already. One was selling drugs. One was a drug dealer. One's involved in a little bit of a, well, can't say too much, but it's bigger than you think. And they got busted. And yet the city of Surrey still thinks, oh no, we should have the new SPS. They're really good. No, they're not. The RCMP have never had done anything wrong to the people in Surrey. They're the most honest. There's never anyone here was ever abused by the RCMP here. These guys have a 20-year contract and never harmed anyone. In fact, they've gone out of their way for a lot of people. And I know because they're the ones that actually asked me to help find missing people. Special unit called me and asked me if I can help them find missing people, the kids. And these guys are great. They don't deserve to be told that they're not worth two shits in a snowbank. I'll tell you why. Because people are going back to historical times. We'll say go back 20, 30, 40 years or more. We'll say 30, 40 years or more, when there was residential schools and the RCMP, okay, it goes to Indigenous people, where the RCMP were forced to gather the children to bring them back to residential schools. They were forced to do it. The RCMP did not really want to do it. It was not in their contract. But it was actually the prime minister that told them to do it or they'll lose their job. And they didn't like it. They didn't want to do it. That's why they created what's called truant officers that work for the corporation. That was to control the race, the mass. That's what they're doing. That's what they did all this time. That's why all of us in every province, every country had corporate organizations. Even your tax centers, anybody's paying income tax, is under a corporation. You're not under government. You're giving away your money to a corporation. You never get your money back. When you are borrowing money from the bank, you're giving it to the corporation, not to a government. Your tax dollars are not paying for the roads. They make up all kinds of bullshit story. Oh, your tax dollars paying for the roads. No, you're not. You're handing it over to a corporation. BC Hydro is not a government. A BC Hydro is a corporation. All your hydro businesses are corporations. You guys get it. Your hydro does not work for the government. Their hydro works for themselves. They control the electricity. They tell you what they want you to do. And they pay the government to tell you what to do. Think about this. Anybody who works for an automobile business, when you're manufacturing cars, you're purchasing a car from a corporation. When you get your fuel, you're buying your fuel from a corporation. The government does not own the gas. The corporations own it, but yet they got monies they hand over to the government to say, here's a swing dollar for you guys, but help us control the price of gas. Your clothing, anything you're shipping in, under corporation. All your food is under a corporation, unless you got farmers or independents. Go to the farmer, start buying the food from them. Right? Okay, so Catherine says, are they even from Canada brought in to give them the badge? I did Finding Young Guys gave Taurus MP, Nova Scotia. Yeah. Here's the thing. Are you asking, when there is a protest, they bring in, I don't think they're bringing in officers through our country, as in Canada, to be police officers. Probably they will represent some areas. When it comes to protests, anybody's doing any truckers convoy, especially truckers convoy, freedom convoys, I would say 80% of those officers quit because they didn't like what was going on. They knew of the corruption. They left. They quit their job. They just said, we're not going to do this. So somebody hired some people from outside of our country to pretend to be officers of the law, which are American, which I already know who they are, right? But hire them in to pretend to be police officers, and they've really abused their position as officers, especially when you're billy clubbed. I've never seen in our country, and I'll be honest with you guys, I've never ever seen in our country, in Canada, an officer use their billy clubs to the public. I mean, literally, we are standing still. We're not trying to hit an officer, but these officers, when I watch the Freedom Convoy, I've seen these officers take billy clubs and billy club you right in the gut, knock you down. Okay? Without you even saying anything. You're holding on to your sign, or you're standing still and you're trying to you're just being peaceful protesting, and then the officer goes boom right in your gut, knocks you down, and then just beats you with a billy club on your back until you get handcuffed. Now, when I see that video, am I believing that that's actually a citizen of Canada? Or am I believing, like an innocent man, or am I believing, or that man could be a protester, or am I believing, is that a crisis actor for hire, for you to see what they want you to see? You see, the thing is that we're beginning to believe everything that's placed in front of us on TV. Everything we see that's supposed to be seen on film. I even shared information that somebody sent me actually on Craigslist. Craigslist was looking for crisis actors to be in a specific location, and they wanted to do certain jobs regarding a certain film relating to Palestine and Israel protest. Okay. None of these people none of these people that were hired knew anything regarding Palestine or Israel protests. They couldn't care less, but they got hired by the hour or by the day to play the role as pro-Palestine. He was on Craigslist, and they're paying them $15-20 an hour. And they're doing it. There's more people out there getting paid to do this. This is your Antifa people. Antifas will come in to pretend to play pro this, pro that, pro this, pro that. That's specifically what they get paid for. That's their job. They do this all the time. It's a job to them. They love violence. That's what their job is to do, is to antagonize you, to cause you grief. Whether they go in by themselves or groups, but they do it purposely. And there's one woman who was NDP in Alberta, and she got kicked out. She was forced to step down for her position in Alberta this past week. She's forced to step down and say, quit NDP now or else. She had to capitulate because she knows she's in caca. Deep, deep, deep. Because she was the leader of Antifa, even though she was once the premier of Alberta. Okay? If you guys didn't know that, I knew that. I seen the film, her actually telling them what they need to do a couple of years back when in the evening, she's actually standing by the fire telling them, Rachel Notley, yeah, that's her. And she was telling them what to do. Here's how I want you to do this. And a lot of these politicians did that. These politicians told them what to do to cause an uprising. And it's nothing new. They've done it before. Even in the U.S. during oh my God, back in during when they had the Vietnam War and the soldiers are coming home, okay, people are protesting, but they were hired by the politicians to cause an uprising. And then there's some black guy walking down the sidewalk, had nothing to know what's going on. Next thing you know, they attack the black guy, put the boots to him. Next thing you know, there's a big story about it. Why are they going after him? He had no idea what's going on. They made it into a black issue, but it had nothing to do about being black. They just they were hired to be crisis actors, to play the role, to cause trouble. And a lot of these politicians did that all the time. They were shit disturbers. They wanted to get the attention. It happened all the time. So when you start to watch the stuff on TV, folks, be careful what you see. A lot of this actually is set up as a video or a movie and or theater. Most of them are crisis actors. They're not. These are, or the Antifa people. These are people who are pretending to be who they are. I've never seen thousands of people protesting, and they're pro-Palestine, and they have the audacity to go over to a cancer clinic and shame the children behind the window. The kids are looking out the window and they see, hearing loud, the people are protesting in front of a hospital. This happened yesterday. And the people that are standing outside and they're actually pointing fingers to the children. Cancer, kids that got cancer, tell them to be shame on you. Shame on you. And they're telling it to the kids. They got cancer. And they're yelling out loud, telling the children that they should die. They have no right to live. I mean, that's gone too far. Gone too far. It's bad enough as it is that our people, our special alliance forces, go out all across the world, underground, up above in the air, all over the world, to rescue these children, to bring them home to their families. And then we got these protesters shaming children in the cancer clinics, cancer hospitals, shaming them, telling them they have no right to live. Who in the hell do they think they are? That affects a child. They have no idea what's going on. Why stand there all of a sudden they're getting their finger pointed at them? They didn't do nothing wrong. See what I mean? But this is what they're told to do. They're there specifically to cause trouble, to make you feel like it's your fault, and it's not your fault. None of you. It's not your fault to live. God gave you this right to be born in this world. You have the right to say what you want to say. They can't tell you what to do. Listen to yourself. God's guiding you. You are brought in this world for a reason. to live, to have a life, to have a family. And if you're deciding to fight for the rights of freedom, then that's your job. If you don't want to, that's your decision. If you want to go hide away from the rest of the world and say, I'm not going to get involved in all this, that's your choice. Nobody hates you for that. You know? Hey, Mark. Mark's a producer of our radio station that I work at. I'm glad to see you on, my friend. Yeah. He said so much of what you see on the news is not what's really going on. Politics itself is little more than theater and window dressing. This is exactly, he's right. And Mark's around it all the time, just like myself. We see it. And everybody gets caught up in it. People get so immersed in it, they lose sleep over it. Absolutely lose sleep over it. Sometimes people have restless sleeps. They can't sleep. They go, oh, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm not sure what's going to happen tomorrow. I just can't handle it. Start living your life again. You know, they always say life is short, but if you want for it to last longer, then live longer. Okay? Live out your life. Enjoy your life. Make the best of everything. You know, like we had to deal with this, 2.5, 3 years of this bullshit that everybody had to be locked down the whole 9 yards. And they're giving and telling us that we had no rights. No rights of what? We had rights. We still have those rights. But someone tells you on TV, oh, you have no rights because I'm a politician. I'm telling you what to do. No. Poly. Okay? Like the police. They're policies. Okay? They're politicians. All you guys are politics. Your guys are policy and ticks. You're just getting on us. You're a tick on my butt. You know, that's all they are. There's good people out there that try so hard to help you in the community. The job of a politician is supposed to be helping community. Okay. But yet, when they start taking a role as I'm going to be your leader, I'm going to be a dictator. I'm taking that title name off. Now I'm going to change it. You can't do this and you can't do that. You're not my father. You're not my grandfather. You are someone who I do not know. And you're not telling me how to live my life. I don't give a crap who you are. I'm sure they'll say, well, if you don't do as I tell you, you're going to go to jail. Really? I've heard that before. Do I really look scared I'm going to go to jail? Been there. I know it's like behind there. Been there. It's scary enough as it is. I'm safer there behind those bars than I'm actually out in the rest of the world. Did you know that? A lot of the guys that actually did time in prison would rather stay there than leave. It's more dangerous out in the world out here than it is behind bars. That's how it's treated now. It's safer behind bars than it is living out in population. Because, see, they get 3 square meals a day. They have an exercising area. They get to do whatever they want, as long as it's not out of way. They're respectful to each other most of the time. They get to see TV. You know, as long as they're not. These aren't the evil boys. These are just simple people that were trying to survive and have a life, and they lived in the wrong way. But in the meantime, sometimes they go back to jail because they want to be there. I don't want to go there. But I know some guys made a career out of it to go back because they think that they call it safe. So, you know, Catherine asked me, what is my thought on the U.S. election? My thoughts? U.S. election. Oh, Trump is just... Let me share something with you guys. President Trump is, you guys may not realize, but see what Biden's doing. Biden's trying to take your rights away from you. And what he's trying to call for is right now is silence. Like he's calling for arrests if anybody talks badly about him. He's sending officers to people's homes to have them arrested. And anytime you are, say you're doing a radio show at your house, or if you're at a certain location, and the president was getting officers to follow you, and if they don't like hearing what you're talking about or seeing what you're talking about at any kind of social network, they come to your house and arrest you. They take you right out of your house, right? They walk right in your house and take you right out of your house. And I've seen it. I've seen some videos. Some people actually got arrested. They were coming right in. Whoa, 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 boom, walking in, grab you, arrest you. You're under arrest for talking about the supposed to be president, the one that's supposed to be the Walking Dead. So, like, Trump said, "You're dead to me, Biden. You're dead to me." Of course, well, we know that. But what Trump is doing right now, you guys may think that he's not doing anything anymore. You may think that he's like, people are getting bored. What Trump has been doing all this time, he's been sending out, special messages to each and every one of you. Every time he's at a location, he's actually sending you specific messages. These are code words, letting you know what's going to happen next. We have to remember one thing. Our country was in slavery for thousands of years. So some people say as far as 20,000 years. Our country, or all of us people in population, we've been in slavery for a long time. But the real slavery, we were under slavery under the Rothschilds, Rockefellers for over 80 plus 100 years. Worse than ever. We've lost all of the true educated being in us. That was taken away. They destroyed, the Rockefellers and Rothschilds have destroyed every piece of history that relates to the Tartarian times, because people were well advanced back then. And yet, why would they destroy all that? Because they knew that these people are getting smarter than they were, and they had to find a way to disrupt it. And so they went back and destroyed everything and made it into a fire, called it a fire. Chicago's on fire, San Francisco's on fire, Vancouver's on fire, everybody's on fire. And they burnt these places down, but yet no buildings really got burnt down. They just hustled people out of the city so they can actually come in with destruction cranes and all that, and destroyed all of these buildings. Like, these are concrete stone buildings that were beautiful, absolutely gorgeous buildings, way better looking than the ones we have right now, and destroyed them. And they said, "Oh, a fire burnt them all down." Fire does not burn brick. Brick does not burn. But see, the people don't want to hear that part. People don't want to hear, "Oh, there was a fire. Oh, I don't want to hear it. It's okay. If it's gone, it's gone. Okay, we'll get started again." But if you decided to research the truth and find out what really went on, you would be absolutely livid. You were going like, why did we actually let them get away with it? Because we were always taught to be passive and not to cause any movement or any. And if anybody did cause an uprising or any kind of movement, the Rothschilds or Rockefellers or anybody else that worked with them found a way to get you out of the way, and you disappeared. So that's why they call it dumb downing. They went after a lot of people. So as far, rumor is Trump will pick up where he left off. He has already picked up. He's been doing this every day. He's been doing it all the time. And sure, I hear, I'm watching so many stories Oh, the judge didn't like him saying doing this. Judge didn't like him saying doing that. Judge is considering putting him behind, or have him arrested, put him behind bars. No judge can actually arrest Trump. Trump actually is the commander in chief. That's above the level of president. Trump had to step down as the president of the corporation, as the 45th president under a corporation. He had to step down. So then he can actually be the 19th president of the new republic of the United States, not under a corporation. Okay? So if you think, yes, he lost the election, but again, he's not trying to get back to be for the 46th president. He's going to change that. There is not going to be another election as a 46th president under corporation. He's coming back in a way different way. He's going to change all that. It will happen this year. And some people say, oh, he won't be president. Some people say it's not going to happen. He's not a war president. No, we don't. We're not in a war. There is no war. There will never be a third world war. Trump even said himself that if ever was a beginning of a war, he can actually end it in 24 hours. And he's right. He's never had a war. He's never sent a soldier out to anywhere to go to war in any country when he was president since 2015. Never did. Every other president did, except Lincoln. But every other president sent out warmongers to cause wars because that's how they felt that they're going to make money. Yeah. He's still the CIC, commander-in-chief. Always has been. His version of being commander-in-chief is like his version of at war. He's at war with people. He's at war with the hostiles, people that are human traffickers. Okay. He's still chasing them down. And they're still doing damage big time. They're going after them and they're not taking no prisoners. They're taking them out. It's crazy. Like I tell people, it's going to be interesting because it's not far off now. I can't give dates, but I can tell you it's not far off. It's going to be, we are going to be so excited. Like, I would say for the last month, this whole past month, I've tried to get sleep. And I was falling asleep a lot, but not falling asleep as in snoring sleep. I would sit in a chair, watch TV, next thing go, I'm out. I have no idea that I'm out. And I'm having visions, like I'm telling you, visions, galore, visions, constantly visions. I'm only out for about now. I'm out, like I wake up less than like I'm an hour. I'm right there, exact an hour. I wake up, like, well, what the hell happened? And my wife said she fell asleep. I said, no, I heard everything, but I was seeing other things. And this used to happen to me for a lot, but it's not just me. It's happening to everybody. Anybody who's sensitive to the energy, everybody sensitive to the transition. We are going through right now as we speak. We are beginning, and we have started to go through from the third dimension to the fifth dimension. We're all slowly, gradually entering it now. We are beginning to go into the fifth dimension. And I actually call it the 5D rising ascension. And now I'll give you the symptoms. Okay. Now some of you guys actually have read what I wrote, but I will share with the rest of the listeners who actually have not read my story. And I'll give this to you right now, so you guys will have a better idea. Okay. So the 5D rising ascension symptoms are going into the new earth. This is the beginning. Like if you guys look at say the earth itself, you know how, when something comes apart and you get two parts, Okay, well, that's exactly what's going on right now. This old Earth is going to be here, and the new Earth is going to be beginning, and so whatever goes with it to the new Earth, which gives you the fifth 5D, you're here at a higher level, and it's something great to celebrate. It'll happen for everybody. Anybody who wants to be part of it will participate. You're not being left behind. This is where people were afraid of, like, oh, what's going to happen to me? You're not going to be left behind. Now, if you're a bad guy and you're harming people, you may get left behind, but there's a reason for it, right? So here's how it works. You're not crazy. Okay. Here's why. Now let's talk about the physical symptoms of the ascension. Okay. The universe and the multiverse is growing through a major growth spurt, and so is humankind. Now, as these intense energies move through our solar system, many people on Earth are experiencing physical, emotional, and mental emotional symptoms. And the people that are not aware of what is going on, they are the ones that are feeling that they are going crazy. Now, so if they have no clue what is happening, and so many of these symptoms are that you're having is very exciting, because you know you are shifting into a higher reality and a higher consciousness, a higher timeline, a higher dimension, so that when you get to these ascension symptoms, and if you feel like you need to go to the doctor and then go to the doctor and then the doctor tells you there's nothing wrong with you, then you will know 100% that this is actually an ascension symptom, and you are shifting. Okay. So one of the symptoms is feeling intense energy and stress, and which is showing you that you are adjusting to a higher vibration, and old patterns, behaviors, and beliefs, and are being pushed to the surface so that you can deal with them and release them. Okay. Now there's also a lot going on inside of us, and at this moment, another symptom is feeling of disorientation, and like a loss of a sense of place, and it's because you are not in the third world dimension matrix anymore. Okay. And you all have moved or are in the process of moving to higher realms. Now you might experience actual aches and pains throughout the entire body. Okay, we all go through that. And sometimes, like you say, like I'm getting pains I never had before. You're now purifying and releasing blocked energies that was vibrating at the third dimension, which is the level. And while you're vibrating in the higher dimension, now a big symptom is for some people are waking up between 2 and 4 a.m. in the morning. Most people do. Sometimes a little bit longer. I would awake around myself. I wake around 2 or 4 for many years, and could never understand why until Spirit showed me and told me why. Now, this also happens because you are in a dream state and you can't be there for a long amount of time, and so you need to take a break. Now, this is also the cleansing and the releasing hour between 2 and 4 a.m., and no matter which part of the world you are living. Now, many experience memory loss, and this is happening because you're in more than one dimension at a time, because sometimes we can split dimensions and we don't realize we can do it. This is happening because you are in more than one dimension at a time, and so that you're going back and forth from one dimension to another, to a third, to a fourth, and to a fifth, and even higher dimension. And so you experience a disconnect. Also, your past is part of the old you, and that is gone forever. And you have to remember that being in the now moment is the way of the new world, and we will be living in the now moment 24/7. You'll be living in the moment. And that's why I always say, stay in the moment and do what makes you happy, because that's how we live in the fifth dimension, new earth energy. Now, many might be seeing or hearing things, so you're experiencing different dimension as you transition, and depending how sensitive you are, and you will hear or see things that don't make sense. Now, you might have a loss of identity as one of your sentimental symptoms, that because you were trying to access the old you and it's no longer there, and you might look into the mirror and not recognize yourself. And that's happened to me a lot. There's times I look in the morning and I look in the mirror going, I'm aging so fast. I didn't realize how come I'm aging so quickly all of a sudden. Like, I went from the time of where 2019, all of a sudden, boom, like, holy crap, what happened to me? That people are losing time, right? They're like, it's shifting so fast. But all this is going to shift back to your youth again. Get this breath. Get dry. So, let me see now. Now, you might be seeing or hearing things so you're experiencing different dimensions as you transition, and depending how sensitive you are, and you will hear or see things that don't make sense. Now, you might have a loss of identity as usual, like I said before. And you might have a loss of thought. Like, sometimes people say I have a short memory. All of a sudden, I don't know why I forgot about it, that sort of thing. This happens. Now, you might look in the mirror, again, looking at yourself again. Sometimes people repeat themselves. Just remember, all is in order, and you are great. You might have periods of deep sleeps, and so we'll have those, and you are experiencing that. Then you are becoming and accustomed to a new conditions, and integrating, as well as building up for your next phase of this ascension process. So, like, for example, my wife will tell me how many times I have been in deep sleeps, and sometimes 4 days without wakening, and then during maybe one day for an hour or 4 hours. Depends on the dimensional travels with spirit, with new information. Now, you also might experience heightened sensitivities from crowds of people, music, sometimes noises that could irritate you. And for some, maybe not, and you might become more overwhelmed easily, because sometimes people can have a hard time when you walk into a store and you say, I feel like as if I'm being claustrophobic, and you don't know why. Just know that you are tuning up to your higher dimension, and everything will be fine. You might have periods where you don't feel like doing anything, no motivation at all. It happens to me as well, and that's because you're in the rest period and your body is rebooting. Okay. Your body knows what it needs. Remember that when you're reaching your higher realms and making things happen, because it becomes obsolete, and the new earth energies support feminine, or of, I guess to say, of basking, like you're just enjoying that time. You're also receiving, creating, self-care, and nurturing. So the fifth dimension, or the fifth 5D, is going to be more divine feminine, where the 3D was all about the divine masculine. So we're going to go to it doesn't mean men are going to turn to women. That's not do it. Just basically, men become more sensitive to their emotions, and women become more sensitive to their masculine side. You can also ask the universe to bring you what you want while you're enjoying yourself and having fun. Now, another ascension symptom is a very low tolerance in 3D conversations. Oh my God, that's so true. Or lower vibrational issues. Now, pretty much it's like, to you, you're going to be pushed to create your new 5D world. Another symptom is a loss of desire for food. Your body is adjusting to a higher state, or being a part of what you do not need or consume. Sometimes people have old beliefs. Like, remember how they always say, your parents would say, you can't, if you want to have seconds, or don't leave the table starving, because there's kids out there that are maybe starving, sort of thing. So That's what they do. They play that role. So we're not that role anymore. We're not having to trying to survive because we're not poor. Your body is changing and your internal system is only craving for what the body wants to consume. That's probably because why the food doesn't taste like real food and good and not good to us anymore. Another symptom is a sudden disappearance of friends and probably your friend, like your family. It happened to me. Talk about me, yeah, big time. I asked Spirit why this was happening to me, and Spirit said these people will not want to be part of your life because you have advanced to a higher energy frequency. But there are other new friends you will meet that want to hear and share your wisdom, so they can too start in their own journey of higher in 5D. Now, but don't worry, the universe will bring your soul family with you too. We will pass into the higher levels. Others will take longer, but they will awaken too. Another symptom is that you just can't do the same things you used to do and that you used to love. That's because those things no longer match your vibration. You know that the new will arrive sooner than you think, and you'll feel so much better. Now, if you're feeling fatigue, it's because your body is losing density and going through the intense restructuring at the beginning of your journey, and you're going to find out that you want to eat all the time, and that you'll probably gain some extra weight on your belly. And if it does, just be aware of it. You need to keep yourself grounded, but do not eat extremely that you can lose control of your food intake until you've learned to integrate all of these energies coming into your body. Spirit will tell you when it's time to lose the weight comfortably. This does not always happen to everyone, but many people are affected by the fulfillment of the food as the energy filler besides, and it's being consumed controlled meals. You might experience emotional upheaval, a lot of uncontrolled crying, triggered videos or pictures, and the 1 minute you are up and the next minute you're down. Your emotions are an outlet to release tears, and are also releasing a lot anxiety, panic, and that's because your ego is losing much of itself as it is afraid of and of not wanting to lose control of oneself. You're not going crazy. Remember, you are transitioning now to 5D dimension. Enjoy the ride, and I hope I'll be able to help you. And so, folks, this is what I want to let you guys know, is because it's important when we go through and there's more to this whole ascension. So we're not going crazy. We're just going through the transition. Now, some people will go through it easily, and others have it harder. And so I always tell people, if you got someone if someone's close by you that understands what you're needing, any kind of assistance of help, and saying, I don't know why I'm going through this. Can you help me, or can you show me what I need to do? So, that's how they do it. So Clark says, life has passed by so fast lately. I can't believe it. And I find I don't really age though. No. Again, myself, for example, I mean, I'm 67 years old, but I don't feel 67. And I know I'm aging. I mean, I could find it in my jowls start to show more now down here. Before, I would say a couple of years ago, I didn't have all this. But I think what it is, because now you're showing your age. Like you're showing like, okay, but see, I'm not showing, I'm not physically working as, like, I'm not outside physically working outside a lot. I'm working in my office. I'm working in my studio. I'm more indoors. I'm actually outdoors. But if I was outside more working, I'd probably be far more fitter, which I am in the summertime, spring, summer. But in the wintertime, we're all in this condition. Everyone is, because not many people want to be outside. They want to be indoors. So you got those 3-4 months indoors. So you are hibernating, right? And so again, that's why I tell people, you're going through that nucleus change. So you're shifting from the original 3D, and you go from there to the new beginning of the new earth. And it's a transition. You're going through the transition. You're not transing. You're not turning from a boy to a girl. You're, okay. Uh, you're going through a transition. Okay, there's a difference. So, um, but it does. This is going to help everyone see where you'll fit. Now, why I'm saying why I said this from the why I'm talking about the 3D to 5D, because this is the reason why we're seeing all this garbage being shoved in our faces on TV, movies, or theater, or whatever you see outside this world, and outside your surroundings. They're wanting you to show you all the things that are going on that became trauma. But if you went back 5 years ago, let's say 5 years, a lot of people did not want to participate in any of that. They were just a 9 to 5 person. You go to work, you get up in the morning, you got your kids, whatever happened, whatever your daily life is about, you get your life together, you get up and you go and you do your thing and go. You're supposed to be a happy person. But there's a group of people that stopped you. Okay, stopped everybody, not just you personally. They stopped everybody in their tracks. And why did they do that? Because they knew themselves that they couldn't control you while you're too busy. They couldn't just say, okay, we're going to pick on this country here. We're going to get them to close down everything and shut down and da 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 da. No, they had to do the whole world or nothing would have happened. That's why they had to shut down the whole world to see how far they can get away with it. And and as they went along, trying to rule control, what you got to take this in the arm, you got to do this in the arm, you got to do that in the arm, you got to do this, you got to do that, and you got to follow through. Cattle, sheep, cattle, sheep, cattle, sheep, cattle, sheep. We became the sheep and the cows. The next thing you know, now they want to kill the cows, the ones that we are consuming, or they want to kill all the animals, the ones that you're consuming. They want to destroy all of our vegetation and just get us to eat insects or whatever we can survive on, whatever they want us to eat, and everything's all lab made. So we don't have to transition to that. None. Nobody ever has to, right? So there's a lot here that I'm sure Mabel was able to share with you guys this evening. I wanted to get that out there. Now, someone asked me about the like Catherine says, as we are changing and our bodies are adjusting to the new energy, and our body's able to handle it as a senior. Yeah, and you know what? The funny thing is, the seniors today, myself as a senior, but us seniors today are not the same type of seniors as my father was. We are not the same kind of seniors. We are a reflection as once whatever my father was like or my grandfather was like. I'm not like them, and neither is anyone really, because what's happening is that we are going to all have the ability to live longer. So, and again, before I forget, I will say the word MEDBED. They're coming. Okay. I can say that they're coming. Don't know when, but we're that close. Okay. They're still establishing stations. They, according to what I understand, they're going to clear out the hospital and use the hospitals as the new centers. Now, but it'll be taken over by the military first. The military will take control of it. You will have doctors and nurses there, but they'll all have to be retrained and cleared to be the true assistants or healers to do these projects. So they're working on that now as we speak, right? Let's see here. If we come across, if I'm hoping, I will say the word, I'm hoping that Trudeau, Fake, Trudeau, or Trudeau, I'm hoping that he's not going to play the same role as Dead Bidan. Because Bidan's doing right now, what he's doing, he's trying to again go after people that are not that they don't want. He doesn't want what's going on, and they're still trying to shut down quite a few other social networks. Where there could be this one here, they may go after TikTok. We don't know, but TikTok is doing pretty good so far. Everybody's still getting all the word out there on them for them. Again, we do have our Rumble page. I have my Rumble page as well as my Telegram. That keeps it going. I've never had troubles with either one of them. Doing quite well with that. And then we have coming up here soon. Let's see if I can find that video. Okay, I can do the audio for you guys on the YouTube, but if you want to slide over to Facebook, I'm going to show you something here. It's a 10-minute discussion. This lady here knows her stuff. She's got connections to our. She has close connections with our commander in chief. So I want you guys to pay attention to this. I'm going to turn this around to the screen for Facebook. Please watch this carefully and listen carefully, because this is also going to be for everyone, not just the United States. This is for everyone, including all across the world. So pay attention, guys. Listen carefully and watch carefully. Debt forgiveness. Credit cards. 6-0. So now you guys know. Boom time is inbound. I hope this was able to help you guys. Now, if you guys are wondering how come I know about this, or who is this lady, um, she actually has her own page on TikTok. and she uses the name Tressy, Tressy. If you type in the word Tressy, you'll find her. She, between her and a few other people, she's the closest to connected to the commander in chief. And she gets information from them. They'll tell her what she's allowed to say. So this is not rumor. This is not created rumor. This is the real thing. This is not made up. This is not a fake story. This is for real. So she's telling you what she's saying that's going to happen. Okay. Now, I know you guys are asking in the chat room, well, what about the currency, the paper currency that will be around for a while yet? It will be, but they're going to slowly it'll be transferring over to the new monies, because the currency that we're using right now is corporation money. This is part of the cabal. This is cabal's money. So we're slowly leaving that one and transferring over into a new money. We're not going to go completely digital because it'll be too hard on a lot of people that are very poor, that, that they'll want, for example, if you want to donate something, or if you want to do some sort of an event, and if you're trying to raise money for a certain thing, not everything is going to be just digital alone. So there'll be other means and ways of money income. Most likely, I got a feeling that there will be some sort of a coin availability that will be, it's going to be an exchange over, and we're not going to go by what it's worth. It's like if you got say $50 in ones, or say $50, then they'll give you a coin that's worth $50, like that sort of thing. Like, you'll still have coin. It's not going to be it's not going to be plastic cards. You're not going to have no implants in your hands. They're not making you do any of that sort of thing. So even though they mentioned about that in the Bible, that they talk about the mark of the devil, well, all of this was predicted, but it's never meant to be exactly precise. Okay, people are believing that everything is precise, and it's not precise. It's actually what it is they're giving you a heads up, like you can change things if you don't want it to be that in that way. The Bible was a prediction, but it's never to say to be exact certain event that's going to happen like that. It's telling you the story, but they're not telling you the whole complete story. So people say, well, be aware of this and be aware of that. We're aware of it, but doesn't mean it's going to happen, right? They say, well, it's going to be a tsunami. Well, how we don't know. If you're aware of it, be prepared for it. Not many things will happen to us. There are certain events that have happened to people in this world that's not even in the Bible, and yet it happened. Why did it happen? Because something up there changed it. Okay, it's not God. Somebody has the ability to change our weather on us. That's why we have all these crazy ass storms with lightning and snow at the same time. I mean, give me a break. They're mixing it all up now just to show you something here, and people saying, "Oh, it must be God." No, there are people have the ability. People have had the ability to mess with your weather since the 1920s. Okay, they had the ability to do it. They'll fly up there and they do it, and they've been messing with it ever since. That's why they have the Tartarian time period. Oh, pardon me. Again, this is starting to happen. The energy, it gets really heavy. When I started thinking about talking about Tartarian, all of a sudden I start to yawn. Like they're taking me there. Like, whoa, okay. And one thing everybody's worrying about, and I'm hearing this from people all the time: taxes, debts. Number one, your taxes are going to be graced. You don't pay taxes anymore. You're gone. After that, and people say, well, when am I going to get my money back for putting tax? No, after all this is over, you're going to be financially stable, way above that. I will say this to you: what I do know, you'll be receiving at least around $5,000 per month as 60 years of age and over. You're not. This is not like they'll say. Well, people are. They say, oh, well, your pension is going to be taken away from you. Pensions are gone. The pensions will be taken out completely, but you'll be whatever pension I'm receiving. I don't know how much I receive per month, but I'm going to be receiving way more than that comfortably. So Every pensioner is going to be receive at least around $5,000 a month. So you won't have to worry about not having anything. Plus, your cost of living is going to go down. Okay, if everything to do with food, housing, way of living, your vehicle values, all that's going to drop. But it's going to be dropped to the normal where you can survive. So if you want to say, if a husband wants to go to work or still carry on having a business, if he wants to have keep his business, his wife does not have to have a second job to keep the family going. Okay. We will all be able to afford to live in a house. Everyone will. Everyone will have, and everyone will be able to afford to travel across the world. If you want to go to some other countries and do some traveling, you can. There's no rule says you can't. Okay. You're not going to have these 15-minute cities. That all got shifted. They got changed now. Like I'm telling you guys, we had to prepare for it. I mean, sure, if we do have the 15-minute city, it's only temporary. It's not permanent, because they're trying to show you that they're giving you an option to be, if you want to stay here or you want to go over there, but they're not going to say you have to have a pass for this and pass for that, pass for this and pass for that. Is this 100% true, Derrick? People have been awake for a long time and doing research saying, tell me this isn't true. So I'm just asking. It is true. Everything you hear from me is true. Okay? From me is true. Whatever I'm sharing with you comes from these people here, from the commander-in-chief. This is not a game. I don't play games. I'm not here to joke along. I like to tell jokes once in a while, but I'm telling you guys straight up. Okay? Like I said, your credit cards are going to be graced. Your taxes will be graced. Your mortgages are going to be graced. That means all of these will be taken away. Not your homes, all the things that you owe debts to, because you're giving all this extra money to a corporation. Those corporations are gone. Okay? Corporations are gone. Yeah, you're looking for those opportunities to buy a home in the U.S. and travel to. Definitely, I want to travel. My wife wants to travel. We've always wanted to travel across Canada, and not just across the world. I want to go. I like to go to the UK and visit some other parts of the world. And I mean, all of us will have an opportunity to do everything, because again, we will all be able to afford to travel. We're not going to be without anything and being to say somebody. No one can actually say I can't afford it, right? You'll have affordability. So again, it's there for all of us now. And someone says, well, here's that word that you used to hear all the time. It's too good to be true. That word, too good to be true, was made by the cabal. They created that. The corporations created that word, too good to be true. And they had you believing it is too good to be true, because they had you believing that you had to struggle to survive. Well, this is what Tessie's trying to tell you. Okay? That it's not going to happen anymore. It's over. It's just a matter of timing. We just have to wait until this whole thing, because there's going to be so many things to look forward to. It's going to be like boom, 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 all at once at you guys. You're going like, oh, wow, look at this, wow, right? I'm noticing a change already. I mean, because I'm around it now more than you guys have, but I'm noticing a change. I'm not feeling depressed. I'm not feeling down. I'm not feeling saying, oh, we don't have the money. I am confidently in my heart, no, because I've been working with spirit for so many years that I know that all of us will be doing fine. I cannot and will not allow negative thinking stop me from saying I can't make it. Okay. And everyone, I'm sure, like I said, try to get rid of that thinking, folks. Too good to be true. And people do worry about their financial status, or worry about the way they're going to live. You're going to be receiving money in your bank account every month for the rest of your lives. Don't forget that the commander-in-chief seized all the gold, and all that gold belongs to all of us. everyone across the world, everyone will get paid the money, not just Canada, United States. Everyone will get paid. Okay. Well, yeah, some of those people that are homeless that you're seeing disappearing are not homeless. They've been taken to locations now that are already safe. That I was told. If you see them homeless, they were taken to a place that they're safe. They're not in a camp, but they're in a place that they're safe. Derrick, when is this going to happen? I can't state the date. I can't put a date on it. Even Tressie can't put a date on it, but she says it's. I will say this: 2024, the beginning of it, all of this is going to happen, folks. Look forward to it. Okay, all of this 2024. Everyone had said it is the beginning of the new. Okay. What do you want to call it? All of this. Okay. We are in the age of Aquarius, the dawning of the age of Aquarius. We are here now. This is Aquarius, folks. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. If you don't know the song, look it up. Play the song. It's the dawning of the age of Aquarius. The band was called The Fifth Dimension. Go figure that one, right? They sang that song in 1966, 67. And when they sang that song, for some reason, I never forgot the song. And they said, in 2024, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. They did. In 2024, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. They said it in 1967. And they sang that song on TV, on Ed Sullivan, and everyone else. Whenever they come on TV, I know they have a purpose. You're Aquarius. So is my daughter. Yeah, happy birthday. So there are going to be many things happening for all of us, and look forward to it, guys. Don't give up on this. I've had people say to me, well, the QFS and the QFS that. She already mentioned QFS. It's all part of it. Okay. We already are in now in Nasara. Okay. It already had begun. It's just a matter of when to release it. They had to sign contracts, certain contracts that now that the public can have access, because the cabal cannot touch any of the money ever again. Happy birthday, Mark. 2 Aquarians in the room. Cool. Any more Aquarians in the room? Probably everybody's going, oh yeah, there's another Aquarian. I have my best friend Dale. Happy birthday to my friend. Yeah, my brother, he's Aquarian too. So he just had his birthday. He just turned 70 today. So yeah, happy birthday to my best friend. He's up north. A lot of people are Aquarian today. This coming all this month. Birthdays. Okay. Anybody else? My son, and he's on the toilet. Angisha. Oh yeah. Yeah, he's celebrating his birthday on the toilet. Yep. That's the royal throne. Did you know that? Is the king of the bathroom. It's on his royal throne. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Let's see. Yes, and your taxes are exempt for sure. So someone's asking now, taxes, yeah, all your taxes are exempt. You won't be paying taxes anymore after the monies are coming in. Anytime you are purchasing, buying things, taxes don't exist any longer. Taxes are done. So, Mark got it. Pull up the Age of Aquarius. So you guys who want to play that song, you're more than welcome to when you get to the chat room. Thanks, Mark. We appreciate it. Um, and listen to the words. If you're able to get the words out of there, folks, listen to the words of the age of Aquarius. You listen to the words, like read the words, and it has a purpose to the whole story. When the moon is in the seventh house, when the moon is in the seventh house, and Jupiter, and the stars. Oh my God, yeah, you'll figure it out. Okay, anything else? Let's see here. I think we're doing good so far. But anyways, please like and share this on my YouTube page as much as you can. Guys, just like and share as much as you can. Share this with everybody. I'm going to take this recording as well from the Facebook and transfer it into my Rumble page, so they'll be shared around everywhere for everyone. And as well, I'll be putting it on, and have a look on Telegram. If you guys have not joined Telegram, please download the app and get on Telegram. Look for me on True North, Strong and Free. You get to see a lot of things that are happening throughout all of the world, and we share every bit of information in there. But please also want to let you share with you guys, when you come into Telegram and you join up in the group, if there's certain things that you're not agree or disagree, that's fine. But the fact is, this is not to do, we're not here to scare people. We're here to share with people and let you know. And sometimes people will refer back to old history. They'll put an old story in there that could have been 2 years ago, but they're giving you some reminders of some things that did happen that some people have not seen, some of the stories. And this is what it could have happened, or they did happen, but they're saying, here's what we're sharing with you, not to forget what did happen in the past. Okay. And the reason why we're using it, it's almost like saying, when the Twin Towers came down, they're saying, they keep on telling you that you're supposed to remember the day where the Twin Towers went down. Well, that was the day when Jesus celebrated his life as well. That's why that Twin Tower went down. So there was a reason why all of this, because that was a cabal satanic ritual when the two towers came down. That was purposeful. Okay. But yet they were doing that for you not to remember a celebration of a person's life. So that's why they did it on purpose, to make you not remember. Any type of thing that ever happened as far as a catastrophe is concerned, it relates to something or someone in the Bible that actually was a good person. Okay, that's what they do. They try to make you to, like, for example, someone said that April 1st is supposed to be Jesus Christ's true birth. We're supposed to have 13 months, not 12. Why do you think the women have their moon time every 28 days? Because your 13 months has 28 days. So every woman has her 28 day, and yet the priests, okay, the priests took out the 1 month and they changed it to their own, make it 12, because they wanted to disorient you, because originally your April the 1st is supposed to be the first year of the calendar, the beginning of the new year. But that is the birth of the Christ. That's the birth of Jesus, not birth of Christ, birth of Jesus. That was April the 1st. And they call April Fools. But that's what most people don't know. Okay, so we all have to learn something from it. Please like and share as much as you guys can. If you have any questions, please give me a scream. You can always text me, email me, spiritchaser1 at gmail.com, or text me into either in Telegram or Rumble, or from my Facebook. And join True North, Strong and Free. It's worth your while. If you guys don't have the app, get the app, because I'll tell you why. Eventually, okay, it'll come that close. It'll come to the point where, when they make the transition of the internet services, because it's going to go down. Remember I said we're going to have that 3 to 10 day blackout. But when it does make a transition, Facebook's not going to be here, maybe not YouTube, and there are quite a few other places. So another social networks that are not that cool, maybe Google too, right? So I'm point to point out is, if any of these are gone, then how can you make contact with me, or how can I ever contact with you? So if you join Telegram, at least you can stay in communication with each other. Or if you're joining up on Rumble, you're still in communication. But the Telegram is the best, because it is the Telegram is in control by the military. The military own that, so no one touches it. They let us do whatever we want in there. There's no, and if there's trolls that come in there, gone. They don't tolerate trolls, right? But they'll always examine and make sure that nobody's causing trouble. And yet you're given a choice, and they don't stop you from saying what you want to say. This is not, because that to them, that's, your Telegram is not Facebook. Your Telegram is not Google. I mean, I'm getting emails from Google, okay, telling me I have no right to send a certain file, a video file, to someone. I was sending 2 files of the cabal, okay, of the fall of the cabal, the video files. I was sending 2 video files to a friend of mine, and they wrote to me and told me that they're not allowing me to send those video files to that person. I'm paying for it. I told Google, mind your damn business, or you'll be charged under criminal code. A military file, file number 3151. And if you actually go further with this, you are charged for crimes against humanity. Guess what? They left me alone. You got it. You got to go after them. You don't take their crap, because they're even now going into your email. They're not supposed to come anywhere inside your email. They're not supposed to disrupt your email. They're not supposed to even examine your email. It's none of their business. And Google got in there last night on me, telling me I wasn't allowed to send it out. They were going to lock me out, not allowing me to send anything unless they said so. Horse pucky, buddies. You don't own my email. I'm paying for it. So, anyways, now you know. Anyways, guys, have a great one, and we'll talk to you guys next week. In the meantime, and God be with you all, and we'll talk to you guys later. Take care.
Everyone lives, everyone dies. Everyone loves, everyone cries. Round the world we're all alike. So why is there war? Why do we fight? There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace, make peace, make peace, peace. Alright, isn't it time for the stop time? Isn't it time, mother, stop crying? Stop the fighting and the hate. We gotta make peace before it's too late. There's one sea, one sky, one earth. So you and I gotta learn to live together. When one hurts, when one needs, we all gotta learn to live together. Peace,